I didn't live through the 30s, my dad did. But even listening to climatologists about the 30s, it wasn't necessarily that the 30s were so dry. It's just that we had no soil cover and we got so hot because of all the blackness out there on the Earth's surface. They surmise that if there would have been cover on these fields instead of blowing dirt, that the temperatures may have been 15, 20 degrees cooler. Well, if you were cooler, you make better use of the moisture you have. So if we could have no-tilled through the 30s, we maybe would have averted a lot of the seriousness of not only the crop production standpoint, but the soil erosion for sure. But it can happen today again. I mean, we are farming with enough tillage in this country for all we have to do is go one season without rainfall to get crop establishment and go into the next season with no or very little residue. And we've set ourselves up for a 1930s event again. And that's the thing that I think we all have to remember as producers. It can happen literally in one season or less, that you've set yourself up for a multi-year erosion event and drought event, and that we can create that environment of drought just by having no cover and no plants growing. Having your tillage system be adaptable to dry and wet cycles, which we have no control over, right? We have no control over whether it's going to be wet or whether it's dry. How we react to it. Absolutely, having more organic matter in the soil makes your soil more resilient in a moisture regime. In a dry climate, you have more moisture storage. In a wet climate, not only do you have more moisture storage before you become saturated, but the soil is more resilient when you do have to work with it. If you have low organic matter soils and you mix it with tillage or a planting process, you end up with bricks when the sun comes out. If you have high organic matter soils or higher organic matter soils with good soil structure, the soil recovers much faster, doesn't crust as easily. And so it's something we need to do. Whether wet or dry, you need to figure out how you're going to manage for it. No-tilling is pretty easy to manage in dry years, tougher in wet years, but still with good crop rotations, the use of cover crops, residue management, all those kinds of things, it's a doable deal, even through the wet years.